Teutoburg Forest, Lower Saxony, Germany. 8, 9, 10th, 11th September of 9 after Christ. The Roman legions under the command of General Publius Quintilius Varus are crossing the forest. The military operation for that year are over, and legionaries are preparing to winter with their families. But suddenly something goes wrong. With a German horde, the Cherus tribe attacks the Roman rows. The soldiers are unable to dispose in combat formation, and the presence of an embankment from which everything is thrown prevents them from having a proper visibility. It will be a real massacre. 3 legions and 6 auxiliary corps are completely destroyed. One of the worst Roman defeats. After that defeat, Romans will renounce the original project of marking the boundaries of the river Elbe and will prefer to retreat to the river Rhine. But the question posed by the enthusiast is, how's the greatest empire of history at the apex of its power, and that would have expanded in other areas such as Britain or Armenia, this time decided to let it go? To understand, we have to step back in time. Romans are persecuted by 30 years of civil wars, and Ottaviano Augusto knows that the people of Rome only ask for peace. For this reason, Ottaviano Augusto's first priority on the internal front is to rebuild a functioning state. And on external front, the priority is to ratify and consolidate the boundaries for the security of the territory. For this reason, contrary to what everyone thinks, the Roman Empire was never really intended to conquer Germany. Things went in a different way. Were the Germanic tribes the first to break the boundaries to attack a legion and steal a draw, demonstrating that the northern limit was not safe, the Romans then react with a war. Not a war of conquest, but a war of pacification. We have to see in this way the military campaign led by Drusus and Tiberius. Romans gain overwhelming victories over every kind of Germanic tribe, bringing in the border for the first time the Elbe River. However, to pacify the area, it was necessary to civilize through the construction of cities and roads, and the Romans used this technique to solve the situation. And here comes into play Arminius, an auxiliary of Germanic origin but Roman education, who wanted to exploit the situation to create his own reign. And he, to persuade tribes, used the common cause of the fight against the Roman invader. And we arrive to Teutoburg ambush. On one hand, General Varus was a simple bureaucrat who is unsuitable to handle the situation and made a long series of unforgivable mistakes, such as leaving too late and not using the streets already drawn, and on the other hand Arminius, who betrayed his companions, dropping them into ambush. That defeat was certainly very serious, and has become legend the desperation of Ottaviano Augusto, who feared a Germanic invasion. But say that the Roman Empire did not have the military power to respond to Teutoburg is a serious mistake. First of all, the Romans had just demobilized the 33 legions because of civil wars, and could send a large number of men in few time. Moreover, the technical disparity between the Roman army and the barbarians was obvious. And we do not forget that all the military roads that were built by Drusus and Tiberius were still functioning perfectly, and the legionaries could move quickly. So why did the Romans renounce Germany? Simply because the defeat of Teutoburg had cancelled that civilization process in which they were committed to, and start from the beginning would have been much more expensive than the benefits they would have, and therefore Tiberius, Augustus' successor, chose to change strategy with a cheaper one. The new goals were to avenge Teutoburg's shame, prevent a Germanic coalition against Rome, and keep the border of the Rhine in safety. exactly what was called to make Germanicus. His expedition succeeded in 2 battles, in the Edict Avisus and Angrivarian Wall, where he defeated the same men of Teutoburg. So the political project of Arminius completely failed, because in the meantime he was defeated by Romans, and because the divisions among the tribes came back as before. In fact, he was killed by his own men. So the river Rhine returned to being a natural boundary separating the 2 worlds. In short, Romans achieved all their goals. It's also wrong to say that the Romans will no longer have the courage to overcome the Rhine. Is not so. First of all, there were areas beyond the Rhine that could not be crossed by the Germanic tribes and were to be fully available to the Roman army. In addition, were created protectors under the strict control of Roman politics, and several centuries later new battles will come, where the Romans will win clearly, as in Battle of Harthorn at Massimino Trace, as well as continuous punitive punishment. And after the plague of the Antonines, who emptied the empire of men, entire Germanic tribes were deported. Even today, the honor of the Roman soldiers felt in Teutoburg impresses the world, and also the German Chancellor Merkel, who in 2009 tries to organize a reenactment of Teutoburg, but had a fundamental problem. Everyone wanted to make the Romans, and nobody wanted to make the barbarians.